Good morning, you guys. I already filmed this garden tour once, so I'm gonna need more coffee because my phone messed it up. So, we're gonna go back outside and do a take two. But I did harvest some basil. I'm just pruning it back to encourage it to bush out, as well as some of the baby kale and Swiss chard to encourage it to bush out, and I'll show you those when we get outside, some more of that chard. But isn't this a cute little basket? I got it at Goodwill. I also harvested one chamomile flower to start drying before it goes to seed. But let's go back out in the garden and we'll try this again. Hopefully my phone doesn't kaput on us. Here she is, guys, and I did get out before the sun got too crazy, but like I said, the phone failed me. But I moved everything closer so that I can see it from my little garden chair and drink my coffee out here. So, here we go. Put my coffee up on the table. We've got California Wonders here, which they are looking so much healthier. I'm just super happy to see them get established. Jubilee tomato hanging in there, and my other Jubilee. A Corbaci pepper and some radishes. We've got radishes and a California Wonderbell. Radishes and Armenian yardlongs. There's also a cucamelon in there because those Armenian yardlongs are going to get big. And I don't know that they're going to do well in that container. So I planted the cucamelons as a backup plan. So we'll see. Here are my purple shelling peas. Now they are looking pretty yellow and crusty. That is because I am in West Michigan in zone 5B, and we are going through a record-breaking heat wave, which is not good for peas. It is breaking 90 degrees pretty much every day, and peas are a spring or fall crop. And I mean, in Michigan it doesn't typically get too hot for peas that quickly, but we're in one of those weird seasons. But, I mean, some of the growth is super dark green. We'll see if they bounce back. We're supposed to get some rain this Thursday, hopefully break up some of this insane heat. I've got my noodle beans. I've got green noodle beans in this layer, and then red on the bottom. Looking like I'm getting some new growth, hopefully some flowers, and these plants are just so happy and green. And so I'm super excited to get noodle beans. I've never had them before. So, here are my Oros Compollos. I'm going to show you the spelling because I know that I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly because I don't speak Spanish. And I am very white. We have got my pink oxheart. Now, guys, this is that tomato that was pretty much dead. And look at it. It's so healthy and green. And new growth. Like, plants are just awesome. They just want to live. And there are a couple other plants I'll show you that, like, they just came back from the dead, I swear. Got my anchos and yellow wax here. Still pretty small, but I am thinking about pruning these back at the end of the season and trying to overwinter them in my house because you can overwinter peppers. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I have a lot, so I don't know if I'll do them all, but maybe just like my favorite peppers. Got our mystery tomato here, which I gave a real good dose of molasses to this week because it was looking rough and it looks like it's doing a little better. So that's exciting. The chocolate cherry sunflower. Guys, this plant was planted 3 weeks ago and it's already this big. I just love flowers. They grow so quickly. Here's that Swiss chard that I pruned some of it off. So hopefully that will encourage some of these smaller inner leaves to just go bonkers. Again, heat wave is not helping some of these plants. Some of these plants are definitely more cool weather crops. Got radishes, which you can see are starting to produce their real mature leaves rather than just their first germination leaves. So hopefully in the next couple weeks we will be harvesting those. An Abe Lincoln tomato here, looking good. My Dr. Witchy's plant that I almost drowned. And look at how happy and healthy it's getting. And there are some blossoms that are going to open in the next week or so in there. They're kind of hard to see, but it is looking so much healthier. So, like I said, plants want to live. They're just going to do it. And this area does get direct sunlight. It is only like 10 a.m. So, Lucy, can you say hi? This is Lucy Goose. She's my garden buddy, other than my nephew. All right. Can you move, please? Got some arroz con pollos, looking healthy. Some corbachi peppers. Now, I did not intentionally prune this pepper, but somehow it got pruned really well, and it's bushing out. And we've got a flower that's gonna open. These are a long, thin, sweet pepper. They almost look like a cayenne pepper. So I'm really excited about these. My yellow wax peppers. We've got a mystery tomato holding on. Big rainbow tomato. Doesn't have flowers yet, but it is close because this Abe Lincoln here just started on its flowers. So this big rainbow's got to be pretty darn close. My oregano here. And you know, I thought the oregano was just going to go gangbusters. And down here it is. But on the ends, it's looking rough. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. It's well watered, it's well mulched. We'll see. I probably should just be patient, but I'm really excited about oregano because it smells so good. Here are the California Wonder Bells that were the most established. And you can see we've got a bud or flower opening. They're looking so much healthier. I'm so sorry it's probably hard to see. My mint is doing pretty well. Got some mushrooms in here. They're kind of hard to see. But this just means that the soil is healthy. And I'm not going to eat them because I don't know what kind of mushrooms they are. But I'm just going to leave them because they will decompose and go back into my soil and fertilize the soil. So I'm pretty happy with that. Here's my Lilliput zinnias. 3 weeks ago these were planted, you guys. Jess Sowards said, Lilliputs grow so fast, or zinnias in general grow so fast. And I was like, yeah, but they can't grow that fast. And then I grew them, and I'm like, wow, they grow really fast, and they're really green and happy. My scarlet kale. Now, this kale is pretty small. Kale is like peas, a fall and spring crop. And so the heat wave is not being nice to it. But there is a little leaf in there, and I pruned off the outer leaves that were a little bigger to try and encourage some more growth. I've got my Abe Lincoln here with its first flower. Super excited. I've never grown giant beefsteaks, and so I'm really excited for the tomato sandwiches that those will bring. And I'm just mind blown by how quickly these have grown. If you see the twine, that is about an inch below where the growth was 2 weeks ago. And now they're that big. I'm just so happy. This is another Abe Lincoln, which also has a flower. This one is a little more like purpley, but I'm sure it'll bounce back. On the other hand, this plant and I are not friends. This is my blueberry tomato. I've never grown this before, but its leaves are so purple and its stem is so purple that it's almost black. Like, it's so dark. The new growth is pretty green, but I have molasses to this. I have given it good water. It's in good soil. It's well mulched. So I don't know about this one. I will keep fighting for it because, you know, plants will revive. But until it's crusty, I'll keep going. But right now, we're not friends. Like, this plant and I are not friends. So, I have a new plant to show you guys, though. I remembered I had some seeds for container cucumber. So this is a bush variety of cucumber that doesn't vine off a whole ton. And I planted this maybe 5 days ago. And it's already sprouting. And I know that they grow pretty fast. So it's an F1 hybrid slicer. And I do have the seeds. I will show you. my other Lilliput zinnias. These are the seeds. I got them off Amazon for Christmas. So, Renee's Garden, just a bush slicer. Early bearing, compact, disease-resistant plants. So, yeah. It's just bush slicer F1 hybrid. So they aren't going to breed true to seed if you save the seeds. That's basically what that means. My other big happy Lilliput zinnia. My other black cherry sunflower, which is going to get hard to see with my shadow. My Dr. Witchy's, this big happy plant with its giant fasciated blossom. So this is crazy, right? It almost looks like a sunflower. It's so big and full of like center flowers. This tomato is going to be ugly as heck, but I am super excited to let it try and grow. This plant is so healthy and so green. Right here, it was probably right here 2 weeks ago. And now it's almost to the top of this post. And this post is at least 3 feet tall. So, this is probably one of the biggest tomato plants I've ever grown. And it's only July 5th. So that's pretty awesome. Over here is a little more shaded. Hopefully it'll be easier to see. My shadow won't get in the way. These are my Tabasco peppers. They're still fighting. So that's good. This big rainbow tomato. Now this big rainbow tomato is in way too small of a container. Like, that's not even a gallon size container. But it is doing really well. And it is forming trusses and trusses and trusses. And it is setting fruit that is big. And I am super excited about it. Like, lots of fruit set. Lots of flowers. Like, even the teeny tiny fruits. And so I am super pumped about this. This is a striped red and yellow tomato, and I've never grown a striped tomato, and I'm super excited about it. Here are my tiny jalapenos. My purple opal basil, which I pruned back today, like I said. So hopefully more of the anthocyanins will come out on these really green leaves and make it more purple. My chamomile is going gangbusters. I had to prune one of them off today because it was just going to go to seed. I'm going to dry these for an anti-anxiety tea. So, I just think they're adorable too. Down here I've got an early Cascade tomato, doing alright, no flowers on it yet. Here is my black cherry tomato, so excited about. Again, the growth. Like, this plant was probably right here 2 weeks ago. And it's going on its second truss. It's set all but one of its flowers. And these tomatoes are getting big. Like, they're gonna start blushing eventually. I'm probably gonna be like, guys, why haven't they blushed yet? But for now, I'm just super excited that there's fruit. Here are ancho peppers. We got California Wonderbells. This is a Jimmy Nardello. And it is doing pretty well. Its brother in here died. But this one is doing well. It's bushy. It's, again, one of those that I accidentally pruned to bush out. And it's doing well. It's got buds on it that are going to open up and produce fruit. Here's my pink Brandywine. Just hanging in there. Got some new growth. No flowers yet, but I'm just happy it's doing well. Brandywines tend to get really sick. And when stuff like this happens, it tends to allow sickness in. But it's doing okay. It's got some splashback damage, and that's about it. So, now this is my Paul Robeson, and I told you guys last week that I was really concerned that it wasn't producing any new growth. So I'm letting this sucker right here grow. So it'll have 2 main stems. But also I saw a little bit of new growth popping up there. So hopefully I'll end up getting some Paul Robeson tomatoes. I'm super excited about this plant. So I'm really hoping that it pulls through. It's looking pretty alright. Here are my Lilliput zinnias, my third one. My super tiny Tulsi basil. An Abe Lincoln tomato. My Genovese basil that I just pruned back. And my lime basil. So that is my garden. Probably isn't the best of garden tours, being it's take 2. But here is an example of the heat wave we're going through. We're about to hit 90, and it is just after 10 a.m. in West Michigan. So here's my happy garden. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. And I will see you guys next week. Have a blessed day.